Hi, this is Emma.
And Michaela.
And you're listening to Sleeping in Park,
where we talk about our trips to beautiful places.
Follow along as we dive into our past trips and our trip planning.
Yeah.
So, we want to add at the beginning of our episode, just because we haven't been very good at, communicating to everyone how and where to find us on everything. But we would really enjoy it and appreciate it if you would leave us a review on however you stream your podcasts, whether that's Spotify or Amazon.
And hopefully, eventually, we will also get a YouTube.
Yes.
And we are figuring out Apple.
Working on both of those currently.
Yes.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
So, soon we'll be there.
It'll happen, and we'll let you know when it does.
Yeah. And you can also follow us on Instagram.
Yes. I'm pretty sure it's just at Sleeping in Park.
Yeah.
25, maybe?
I think it's just Sleeping in Park. Unless we changed it to match. Okay, yeah, let's fact check that. We should probably know that before we just advertise that.
I know.
I think it's Sleeping in Park, but
I'm pretty sure.
Also, we would love to hear any park suggestions or any wildlife encounters or any stories you have from just the outdoors.
Yeah.
If you want to send them in, we would love to hear about that. Or if you have any questions or anything you want us to look into specifically or an episode recommendation, basically just email us at sleepinginpark25, the numbers 25, @gmail.com, or
you can DM us on Instagram. Yeah. And our handle is just Sleeping in Park.
Yeah. We would love to hear from you. We would love that so much.
Yes. That would be so cool.
Wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So please reach out to us. We would love it and appreciate it. And we also just want to throw out there, we are going to restructure. There's a squirrel. We are working on, so actually this park, Yellowstone, will be the first park. We're going to restructure how we do our episodes. So we've normally done a trip planning episode and then our experiences in the park with a little bit of geology, wildlife stuff.
Yeah.
But since we don't want to be repetitive and we've both wanted to dive more into whether it's the wildlife, the geology, or a specific story about that park or how it was founded or something like that, and want to spend more of our time researching that, we are going to combine our experiences with the trip planning episode, since normally we talk about the highlights in every park, and normally we've hit all the highlights in the park. And usually when we have hike recommendations, we've done, like, the ones that we've done are on that list.
Yeah.
So we figured we'd just save ourselves some time and combine those two, and then we get to look more into stuff that we haven't learned more about. Because we already have learned and dove into the trip planning into all these parks when we visited them, and we obviously experienced everything we talk about that we experienced, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also, I think in doing this podcast and then just going to, like, with the amount of national parks we've been to just this year, like, we've both definitely wanted to know more about the history and the geology of it, so I think we're both really excited to get to do some research on that.
Yeah, I was just telling Michaela how instead of, researching the places to stay in Yellowstone, I was like, I would much rather look into how buffalo and wolves were reintroduced to Yellowstone National Park.
Yeah. And, like, even the geology side of it, like, why are the geysers different colors? How did they even get there?
How did they even get there?
Why are they always so hot? Like, what, just the, like, science behind it, kind of.
Yeah. So, that is why we're doing that.
Yeah.
And now we'll jump into Yellowstone. Episode 8?
Yeah.
Look at us go. Planning a trip to Yellowstone. Did we even say that? I don't know.
Not yet, but now you know. This episode is about planning a trip to Yellowstone, and we'll go over some of our experiences as well. But first, we're going to attempt to explain a park map.
Because
so we'll have it right here.
Because we're fancy now and we figured out how to do that. We literally just figured out how to put a PDF onto a video for like 2 minutes. But we're so fancy.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So, basically, Yellowstone is mostly just 2 giant loops. So it's like a giant figure 8, kind of. And the lower loop is where most of your geological, thermal kind of features are going to be, along with some wildlife. And then your upper loop, I would say, is a little bit of geothermal with more scenic and much more wildlife. Gorgeous. We love both loops, but we're going to start at the south end.
Yeah.
We're going to start on the south end with West Thumb Geyser Basin, which is if you're coming in from the south, it's going to be just off to your right when you finally hit the loop, the lower loop.
The lower loop, yeah.
Which is really cool because it's geothermal features like on the lake shore and in the lake. And you can see it, and it's crazy. And the water of that lake is insane.
Yep.
Where you can see the boat. Oh, it's just crazy. I want to go back and see it again now.
Next year.
I know. I'm so excited. We get to go back again. But then if you take a left and you're going up this way, you're going to find the Upper Geyser Basin, which is actually the lowest of the three that they call Upper, Midway, and Lower. But Upper Geyser Basin has Old Faithful, Castle Geyser, and Beehive Geyser, along with many others. Those are just a few of the popular ones there.
Yeah.
Obviously, Old Faithful, iconic.
Yeah. Also, when you plan on going to Old Faithful, the park will post what time that they expect it to erupt.
All of the geysers, actually.
Yeah. So look into that as well.
Go into the visitor center, and they will have the times.
Yeah.
All the geysers that have, I think most of them are predictable. It's just there are some that have like a 3-hour window where it's like they don't know if it's going to be an hour and a half before or an hour and a half after. But
some of them have a lot bigger. Is a lot more regular.
That is why it's so famous. I can't remember
how often. It's like less than an hour. It's like 45 minutes or something. Yeah.
And they can get it within like 10 minutes of accuracy every time. Yeah.
So make sure to look at that when you are planning your trip, just to kind of figure out, so you don't miss an eruption. Because honestly, like, it was super cool to see.
Yeah. Well, and if you miss it, just wait an hour.
Yeah.
Wander around the other geysers. Even if they're not erupting, you can see this, like, a lot of times they'll be in, like, a steam phase or whatever, where, you know, something's coming out of them, and they're cool to see. But then if you keep going up on that west side of the lower loop, you'll hit Midway Geyser Basin, which has Grand Prismatic Spring, along with a
bunch of others.
Yeah. That boardwalk is beautiful.
I think I really love that boardwalk. That might be...
They also have an overlook.
I don't want to say it's my favorite, but I really love that one.
They also have an overlook for that area, too, which is kind of cool to see. Like, when you're overlooking, you can see how close the boardwalk is to the actual Grand Prismatic Spring.
Well, and then you get, like, an aerial view of the whole thing. And it's just, like, all the different colors. And you can, you know, see a bunch of the other springs. And it's just so cool.
So cool. I would also say we tried to hit this in the morning one day. And it was foggy at like 10 a.m. because we knew not to go middle of the day.
Yeah.
I did not plan on seeing any of these features in the middle of the day. But I will say, just make sure, if you are trying to do that, make sure, you know, there's no fog so you can actually see the things. We did end up going back later.
Yeah.
But there were so many more people. So I would recommend seeing all these features, if you can, closer to like early morning and late evening. It's worth it. Yeah. Trust me.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Because we went on the Grand Prismatic Spring Overlook hike. It was like shoulder to shoulder with people.
It was
I've never...
literally...
You know how people say get out on a trail? That's usually true for most places. And I would still say it's true in Yellowstone, except for this hike. This hike was...
Yeah. This one's also very popular. And people...
Like, one of the most popular hikes I think we've been on.
I think it's definitely probably the busiest one we've ever been on.
Yeah, that was insane. I was like,
why is there so many people?
What's happening?
Yeah. No, it was crazy.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like, I think we were there at like 3 or 4.
I thought it was earlier.
Really? Maybe we did the boardwalk. I think it was, the boardwalk was around like 4, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember trying to get out of there, and it was like, you couldn't even...
It was a mess.
Just don't go then. Try your best not to go then. Learn from our experiences. Yeah. We tried not to go then, and we ended up having to go then.
But, worst case scenario, if you do have to go in the middle of the day, or whenever it's super busy, I would say still do it. The people...
Oh, yeah.
Might kind of...
Well, also the parking is kind of weird because the parking was full, so you had to park like 3 pull-offs down, but you can't like back in because that road is so busy.
Yeah.
And so then when you're trying to back out, that was
terrifying.
Insane. If we wouldn't have had the little beepometer that told us when a car was coming, when you can't even when you can't even see when another car is coming.
Yeah.
That was very helpful to have.
Yes.
Because you couldn't see the cars coming, right? But it would tell you that they
cars on either side of you also parked,
and if you back up,
parked like close.
Yeah.
You're really packed in there.
And again, it's not like we went on a weekend or something even.
No.
That park is just always busy. So I would just recommend, doing those geysers in Grand Prismatic Spring in the morning and evening if you can.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Trust me, it makes a difference.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
And then after that one, if you keep going up on that side of the loop, you'll hit the lower geyser basin, which has Great Fountain Geyser and fountain paint pots. So, those are cool too.
Yeah. And then, if you keep going up the loop, you get to Madison.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where, isn't that right?
It's almost where
where
the middle,
like
cuts,
the intersection.
Yes, thank you. Where it cuts across in the loops, where the loops can join.
Yeah.
And then if you go all the way across, so after that, you'll have to cross the loop, and then that's where Canyon Village is, which is where the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone is, which is one of our favorite spots in the entire park. We both love that waterfall so much.
It's so gorgeous.
Sorry, waterfalls, because it's an upper and lower, but...
Yeah. Well, and you can... So there's a couple different viewpoints you can do from there.
There's like...
Actually, there's quite a few.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Because when we actually ended up going there early in the morning when it was still foggy. But we ended up coming back later in the day because we wanted to see the whole thing.
Well, yeah, because we did... it was like almost half a dozen viewpoints that morning. Yeah. And the fog wasn't bad for most of them because we were close up to the falls. So, like, the brink of the lower falls that we did was really cool. Where you can... The power of the waterfalls is insane.
Yeah.
But since you're so close, you could see
it.
The fog didn't matter. But when we went to Artist's Viewpoint, it was like you could see it, but it was like,
not really.
And we were
like, you could tell there was huge potential there for an insanely beautiful view, but you couldn't see it.
So we left. We went. I think we went and did West Thumb for a little bit, and then we came back.
Yeah,
we came back because we were like, we really
want to see
this. And we were there the first time we got out of the car. I think it was like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And there was no one at any of the viewpoints until we came back for the second viewing at like 10, and then it was insane.
Very busy.
Yeah, it was hard to find a parking spot, and that parking lot is gigantic.
Yeah, that is a really big parking lot, but so worth it.
Yes, 100%.
It's insanely beautiful.
Love that spot. And also, just so you know, there you go again. Do the things that are the most popular in the mornings and evenings.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
That's really our best advice for you. So you're not, because crowds in Yellowstone are pretty normal and they're common, but I think you can avoid them pretty well. We usually avoid the crowds.
We do our best to avoid crowds.
I think if we wouldn't have went back to both Prismatic Spring and the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone, we wouldn't have, think about what else we did. We didn't hit crowds.
Mm-mm. No, those were the...
We went back to those things because the fog that day that we had planned to do those things were in our way, but...
Yeah. But it also, the crowds didn't make or break the trip there.
Oh, no. Because the view, what you're seeing is so gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean, the hike at the Grand Prismatic, that kind of did break it a little bit because there's an observation deck, kind of.
And we can't even make it to the observation. I think.
Yeah, no, we made it on a little bit, but you can't get to the edge. So I would just try. I think you can avoid the crowds. We would have avoided the crowds if we hadn't gone back to those places.
Yeah.
Which I think, honestly, would have made my experience in Yellowstone even better. Because it was really great, and that's the only thing I would change, the crowds. I think the Grand
That's the only thing I would change about any of the parks we've been to is the crowds. But again, that's kind of out of our control.
Well, and at least people are getting out in nature. It's so good for us.
That's also true.
So you can't even be go
and I'm
get
so
out
glad
of here.
that the national parks are getting the attention that they're getting now.
Yeah.
Because it's
I love that too. And good for everyone for getting outside. And hey, it's a great thing.
It is.
That so many people were on that hike, because think about it. They must have all been in just a great mood afterwards. We always are after our hikes. So after Canyon Village, if you drive south on that lower loop, you'll go into Hayden Valley, which is a good spot to see wildlife.
Yes.
We got to see a buffalo swim across the river, which is which was the coolest thing ever.
I think so. My mom
And we
actually
saw-
still talks about that in the pictures that we have from that. My
It was
mom still
insane.
talks about it. It's the back, like the screensaver at her computer at work.
It's pretty cool. And we
Yeah.
saw 2 separate sets of a mom bear with 2 cubs.
And also, I think the second set we saw was Bear 399 and cubs.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because she had that
because
white spot on her side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the one we saw up on the upper loop. Do you remember that? That other one that was in like a pretty field with the 2 cubs, and they kind of just like, they kept standing up on their back legs and looking out. But then I was like, that one's too light. When I was looking back at pictures, I was like, there's no way that's heard.
No.
Okay, well, if you're saying it's those ones, then I could see that.
I think it was. Don't quote me on that. But I'm like 85% sure we did see Bear 399. And
now that you say that, I think you're right. Cool. I kind of want to look up to see how many cubs she had that year to see.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't her year of the quads, which would have been insane to see. Okay, anyway, we're going to do a tribute episode to Bear 399 in October. Yeah. We're very excited about it. Anyway, we're going to... So we saw buffalo swim across the river there. We saw other bison there. We saw some bears and cubs, and it was a good spot for wildlife.
That was in a really good spot.
Yeah, and we saw elk over there too, actually. It was like right after we pulled off of the Canyon Road area away from the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. There was just a field with just elk.
Just elk just laying in there.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of good stuff in Hayden Valley, actually.
Yeah.
But if you keep going south on that loop, you will hit the Mud Volcano and Dragon's Mouth. It's a little parking lot and some more geothermal
and there was like
features.
a bunch. I think there was like...
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to go see it.
It's very cool.
Yeah, it's worth a stop for sure. And then even more south is Lake Village / like the fishing bridge area, which is kind of right above West Thumb. So that completes our loop.
Yep. And then in the upper loop.
Yep, we're going to start over here. Yeah, by the Norris Geyser Basin.
That also has Steamboat Geyser, and I didn't know this. It's the hottest part of Yellowstone.
I was telling her that I heard this, that a ranger was out on a trail in the Norris Geyser Basin area, and she smelt maple syrup. And it turns out it was because the trees were boiling in their own sap, because she took a ground temperature, and like just a few inches under surface ground where she was walking, it was over 200 degrees.
That's just crazy to me.
Yeah, so they had to close the trail until it calmed down, but... Like, can you imagine smelling maple syrup and being like, what is that? And then taking a temperature measurement of the ground? Imagine that.
Just some sap inside trees just boiling.
So you can smell their maple syrup. What?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
I can't even wrap my head around that. No. It's so cool.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So then at like kind of the top part of the loop is where Mammoth Hot Springs is, which is another cool area. And also where another entrance is. It's like the Theodore Roosevelt Arch, or like the original entrance. Do you remember that? Of Yellowstone is? That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's got some older historical buildings up there.
Mm-hmm. And then there is Tower Roosevelt.
Kind of on this side of the upper loop. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Area too. Got good waterfall. Tower Falls. It's pretty cool. And then off of there, you kind of turn off of it, and it's like a line off of our loops, and it's Lamar Valley.
I think it's probably one of my favorite parts of the park.
Yes. Me too.
We love Lamar Valley.
We do love Lamar Valley. It's so gorgeous. It's got rolling hills. It's got mountains. It's got just animals. It's just gorgeous.
Yes.
It is so
picture perfect gorgeousness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way to describe it.
Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much our explanation of
the
Yellowstone.
Map.
Yeah,
if that makes any sense at all.
That's also most of the a lot of
the major points.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree.
And now we'll go into more of the trip logistics.
Yeah.
So how long to stay? I think like 4
4 days.
Which I think is honestly a great number of days to spend at most national
at
parks.
most national parks. I agree. Well, and that's if you're just like trying to see everything in like a shorter, not super rushed, but kind of rushed amount of time.
I think you could do a lot with 4 days.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I think if I were to spend just 4 days in Yellowstone,
we have spent collectively maybe what
3 days or 2.5 days.
2.5 days.
Yeah. And
Yellowstone.
we've seen
most of it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we haven't done a lot of like big hikes there, but I would try and stay in the middle of the 2 loops.
Yeah.
Or you could do like split it up a couple days. The lower loop, and then you could see the geysers, sunrise, sunset kind of time, or like late evening, early morning. Same with if you spend a couple days up on the northern loop, then you could see wildlife in Lamar Valley early morning, late evening without having to drive far.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of great ways to do it if you could spend 4 days there.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, you can spend more time there. Clearly, it's Yellowstone National Park.
Yeah.
You're so much to see and do.
Yeah.
And I also think, even if you just have a day, drive through it.
Drive through it.
Although, my thing would be, if you have a day, I would honestly probably just hit, like, a couple of the major, like, probably Old Faithful and Grand Prismatic, depending on what you're interested in. And then I'd go to the east side of the park and just hit Hayden Valley, Canyon Village, and Lamar Valley on the way. Like,
yep, for sure.
I love that side.
Yeah.
That's just us, though.
Yeah.
You could, and if you were going to spend more time there, you could also explore surrounding areas, like Grand Teton, which is, like, 45 minutes away from...
So it's honestly like it's so close, you just might as well.
You have to, pretty much.
Basically, if you don't, you're lame.
You're silly. Why would you go all the way over there and not even see the Tetons?
Yeah.
What?
It just seems
You can see them from Yellowstone Lake.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
So you might as well just go get a better view of them.
Yeah. You might as well just not be such a silly goose where you gotta get in the lake.
Yeah.
Know?
Exactly.
But after you decide how many days, we keep going on.
We do. This is,
it's
fine.
Yeah.
We're doing great.
We have a lot of tangents today, but they're mostly relatable, so it's okay.
Yeah, I agree.
But then you gotta go into figure out your budget for the trip once you know how many days you're gonna stay there.
Yep.
Figure out how you're gonna get there, whether it's airfare, gas, what you really need for your main mode of transportation to getting to the Yellowstone area.
Yeah.
Lodging and camping, your food, activities if you're doing any, and obviously gift shops.
Obviously.
And then where to stay is what you also have to figure out.
Yes.
So we'll say, I think a couple of the gateway towns, but then I think instead of listing out all of our campsites, what if we just put a handy dandy map up here for everyone to show them where their camping options are inside the park?
And we can list like a couple of each. Yes, I agree.
Okay. So West Yellowstone is clearly on the west side of the park. It's in Montana.
Yep.
Mammoth, Montana, it's up at the top. Silvergate / Cook City are kind of smaller towns, but they're over here. They're coming, if you go off that road, you can get to the Beartooth Highway. You'll go through those towns. Gardner, Montana, and Island Park, Idaho is kind of, it's like past. It's a little bit further out. And Cody, Wyoming is further out this way too.
Yeah.
But honestly, I would recommend staying in the park. It's so gigantic that no matter what you're going to do, if you're staying outside the park, unless you're staying like right on the border of the park, you're going to have hours of driving when you already have hours of driving inside the park.
Yeah, that's true.
I would recommend staying inside.
I think it's worth it.
Yeah. And then another thing to note is that the lodges, all but 2, close from November to April. So the only 2 that are open is Old Faithful Snow Lodge and Cabins and the Mammoth Hot Springs Hotel and Cabins that are open through the winter.
Okay.
If you want to visit in the winter. I mean, we could put a map up of the rest of the lodges. I mean, theirs is a decent amount.
There's quite a few.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we could run through them too. There's Grand Village. I think I started and I went up in the loop and went around. Did like a giant oval. So there's Grant Village, Old Faithful Snow Lodge and Cabins, Old Faithful Inn, Mammoth Hot Springs Hotel and Cabins. Just kidding. Yeah, and Roosevelt Lodge and Cabins, Canyon Lodge and Cabins, Lake Lodge and Cabins, Lake Yellowstone Hotel and Cabins.
Yeah.
Which campsite did we stay at when we went to... We stayed inside the park. Was it Lewis Lake? Why do I think it was?
Why did I think it was Mammoth?
No, Mammoth was north. We stayed south. Do you remember we drove up from Grand Teton that night?
Yeah.
It was on the lower loop for sure.
I don't know.
I think it was...
It was a long time ago.
It was either Lewis Lake Campground or Grant Village Campground. I don't remember, but they had gorgeous stars out that night. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
So now we'll put up a map of all the campsites.
Yep. There's about a dozen inside the park. They're all great. One thing to note is that all of the lodges, you have to book 13 months in advance exactly, unless you get cancellations. Not even 13 months they drop and on the dot. And also for half the campgrounds, because half of the campgrounds are managed by the lodges, while the other half are managed by the national park. So the ones that aren't managed by the lodges inside the park are managed by the national park, and those get released 6 months, like normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would just, plan your trip far enough in advance you are able to...
Otherwise, you'll catch those cancellations, like we said, if you book something fully refundable outside the park and then call back in.
Yep.
But then a couple campgrounds that are near the park, if you can't stay in the park, would be Headwaters Campground at Flag Ranch, which is technically in Grand Teton. So you're adding a bit of a drive, but if you're going to hang out on the really lower loop of it, maybe it'll be okay.
Yeah. And then there's Baker's Hole,
which is over on this side, which is actually pretty close to the west entrance.
Yeah. And Bear Creek. Those are both technically on the Montana side.
Yeah. That one's up north. And then when to go. So here's a tricky thing. April and October are not the best times to go. I'm just going to throw that out there because we kind of separated into two. Yellowstone has kind of two very distinct seasons, which is a summerish and a winter.
Yeah.
But April and October, or not, is it October or is it November? Is it April and November? It's April and November. I'm sorry. April and November, most of the roads are closed, and the snow coaches aren't out yet.
Yeah.
So it'll be kind of hard to see most of the park then. But if you go in the summer, obviously you'll get to see everything that the park has to offer, all the wildlife, but that also comes with the crowds, like most parks. And in the winter, it's a better time to see wolves and wildlife. You won't get to see all the wildlife, though, because bears are sleeping in their dens.
Their little hibernation thing.
Yeah. You'll have much less crowded experience, and I think a lot more unique experience.
I agree.
I would love... It's on our bucket list to go in the winter. Go on a snowmobile tour. I want to see... I think Old Faithful would be so cool to see in the with snow.
With snow around? Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh, and the wildlife that I've heard of people seeing. Wolves are apparently...
The wolves, seeing just the wolves, I would be happy with that.
Oh, me too.
That would be crazy. Yeah. Gosh.
Yeah.
We should just go.
Yeah, we should. So yeah, take that upon yourself. I think it'd be great to go. I think you got to go in the summer and the winter again. I feel like you have to go in both.
At both times.
To really experience this. It's I think Glacier is a little bit different where you could go in the summer and experience almost everything. And still, you could get a unique experience in the winter.
I agree.
But I think if you go in winter in Yellowstone, it's got to be one of the best national park winter experiences ever, I think.
I fully agree. Just
with the geothermal features and the wolves.
Yeah.
And everything covered in snow. And
how are you going to beat that?
Just magical. Just
pure magic.
Yeah. Pure magic. And then we'll go into some things to do there.
Yeah.
Other than all the main landmarks we already pointed out.
Right? Yeah. So,
But...
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
You can go out boating or swimming or fishing on Yellowstone Lake and Lewis Lake.
In the parks, which
are both in the park. And if you're going in the winter, you can also ice fish on both of those lakes. There's also a ton of biking. I would be very careful just with wildlife and stuff.
Yeah. And also just
I
crazy
guess I
drivers.
don't know. Well, that too. And I guess I don't know
where
if there's
permitted.
restrictions on where you can bike in the park.
There might be.
We
didn't look into that.
No, we did not. But there's no way you can bike in Lamar Valley.
I mean, you'd think not, but
maybe you can. And you know what? More power to you, because you're braver than I am.
I can't fact check. My phone is recording us.
I'll fact check.
There's obviously scenic drives in the valleys with beautiful pullouts. I loved the pullouts in Lamar Valley. Like, when we were driving, we drove from Grand Canyon and Yellowstone, so Canyon Village, to Lamar Valley, and you descend kind of down because it's higher up in elevation on the northern part, and you kind of go down a couple of these switchbacks, and the views you have are just gorgeous. Loved it. And then see the geothermal features, obviously, that we talked about. And then wildlife viewing, which I would say is a big one. It's got to be one of the best parks in the entire United States for wildlife viewing. I mean, maybe don't count the Alaska parks. So, but also you get a variety here, where in Alaska, I feel like it's just a lot of bears. I could be wrong. I don't know. But a lot of wildlife here. Come to Yellowstone to see the wildlife. So then I've looked up some great places to see each kind of major wildlife in the park. So buffalo, good spots are Hayden Valley River, like Hayden Valley and in the river and around the river, and Lamar Valley. And then wolves, Lamar Valley, and in the winter is the best time to see them. There is also a pack in Hayden Valley. I've heard they're harder to see, but maybe you'll get lucky. Grizzly and black bears. In my research, it said on the upper right side, which would be kind of over here for you guys, of the loop, Mammoth, Lamar Valley kind of areas, as well as the Fish Bridge area. You can't actually sleep in tents in the campground there. It's hard side only. And also, we've seen a lot of bears in that Hayden Valley area. So both valleys, really, both major valleys are a good spot to see them.
Back to the bikes real quick. So bikes are authorized on certain established roads when closed to public motor vehicles during the spring and fall season. So if you're wanting to bike,
it's got to be like April and November then, I'm guessing.
Yeah. And it's on certain roads too, because it depends on, I'm sure it depends on like snow and what they do and don't have plowed yet. So if you're wanting to do biking, go in the spring or in the fall, and
glad we looked that up.
Make sure to look into what, like, I'm sure you could ask a ranger.
Yeah.
And they'll know. Yeah. Unless you know where you can and can't bike.
And then elk, mammoth, and the upper right side, which would be this side for you guys, I think, right? If I'm backwards, yeah. Are great spots to see elk. We also saw elk right by Canyon Village in Hayden Valley. So, again, both valleys are really just a great spot. Bighorn sheep. And we heard from a couple in Grand Teton that they also saw mountain goats.
Yeah.
So they'd both be at higher elevation. These would be things you'd pretty much want spotting scopes for, I would think.
Yeah.
Just because the higher elevation, you're not really reaching too much of in Yellowstone.
Yeah.
But in Lamar Valley, look at the higher elevations to see bighorn sheep or mountain goats up there. Along with the Tower Falls area for bighorn sheep and pronghorn and birds. There's some bird people out there that are bird watching. Yeah. We saw a lot of really cool birds up in.
We actually did.
Yeah. But so again, just the valleys kind of are great places for wildlife. Just insane.
Yeah.
So many animals.
If you are only like driving through Yellowstone, I would say drive through
Lamar
Valley, like Hayden and Lamar Valley. Just drive up that side of both loops. And honestly,
we actually took a 3-hour detour.
Yeah.
Just to drive up through the valleys on our way home from a trip.
Yeah.
So worth it.
100%.
Yeah.
And honestly, when we did that, we saw a ton of buffalo.
We saw a baby black bear.
And because bears is you go to Yellowstone, you're not necessarily guaranteed to see bears, but it's very common to see bears.
Well, we saw so many bears our first year.
Time.
It was 9 bears.
Yeah.
In 2 days.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And then we went back this year, and on our way home, we only saw the one little cub, which I thought was weird to see a cub.
Yeah, we were looking for its mom.
Did not see its mom.
People slowed down. There was like 2 people in front of us that slowed down, and we made sure to slow down, take our picture, and keep moving because you don't know where the mama is. And he was right off the road.
Yeah.
Just eating grass. It was adorable, though. It was
very cute. But I was also, like, I don't want to say I was sad that we only saw one bear, but a little part of me was really hoping we would see more.
But because we saw so many bears our first time, we both kind of thought we would see more bears this time. And we're like, we're going in the evening.
Our expectations were a little bit too high.
They were. But it was still really cool.
Yes.
And I'm very excited to go back.
Oh, I'm so excited.
So excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, just going to the gift shops.
We love it.
They're a little bit... The Old Faithful one is a little bit crazy, but it's a great gift shop. That gift shop is gigantic.
I think probably one of the biggest ones.
Yeah.
That we've been to.
Yeah.
And that's saying something. Like, it was huge.
Yeah. But
super
very
cool.
Yeah. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. And then, so if you do plan on going in the winter, a couple fun winter activities you could do. They have a snow coach. Yes. Which I think is so cool. It's basically like the Sprinter van on big snow tires. Like, otherwise, I did see another one that had, because when I was just looking this up, there was another one that had tracks on it that I thought was pretty cool. So either one of those would be very cool to do.
Yeah. But you can see, like, they'll take you on tours to parts of the park where you can see, like, just.
Well, I'm sure there's different tours. I think there was a wildlife tour, and then there was another that was kind of just like tour of the park type of deal.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I don't think they'll take you all the way around the entire thing, obviously.
No.
But it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Another really cool thing you can do is guided snowmobiling.
I want to do that so bad.
I've heard so many amazing things about people's guided snowmobiling experiences in Yellowstone. Like, you have to stop for wildlife, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they just see, like, a wolf cross the road or, like, a buffalo, and you just have to sit there and watch that. And I'm like,
sign me up.
Right?
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Please and thanks. So you can do snowshoeing and cross-country skiing, and then there's also, like I said earlier, you can go ice fishing.
Which is pretty cool, too.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool. And now we'll get into some hiking. So there's actually over 900 miles of hiking trails. Yeah. Which is kind of crazy, especially because I feel like
a lot of the park is like the thermal and like features and
wildlife
stuff
viewing and which is great. Well, I would also just make sure you carry bear spray.
100%. Bring bear spray on any of these hikes. You are in like pretty much prime bear country.
100%. You're in prime bear country. Be smart, be safe.
Gosh, yeah. No bear safety.
Watch our episode. What episode was that? That was in hiking
tips and essentials,
Watch our episode about that to get some bear safety tips, because you should really know that before you get on the trail.
Yeah.
Especially in Yellowstone.
And then, also in that episode we go over how to use bear spray, because while a lot of people might think it's pretty straightforward, it's good to just know.
Yeah. Just
in case.
Solidify that.
Yeah. So go back to that episode. I think that was episode 2? 2 or 3?
Yeah. 2 or 3.
Let's go back and watch that episode.
Yeah. But there are a lot of backcountry hiking, plenty of overnight hiking opportunities too, clearly with the 900 miles. But always do your own research before going out on hikes. Look at the National Park website, blogs, all trails, hiking apps. Lots of things. Have your map printed out too. Make sure you're not just, make sure you have your essentials. Yeah. Before you go out on the trail.
Yeah.
Just especially. And ask a ranger about trail conditions and recommendations. It's a great thing to do.
Yeah. So a couple short hikes. There's the Old Faithful Geyser Loop. This is 0.3 miles. Very easy. It's on a boardwalk, and it pretty much just takes you around Old Faithful. So you just get a 360 view of it.
Yeah, and sometimes bison are hanging out over by like the geyser areas, which is really cool to see. When you see a bison in front of a geyser, it's like, this is like perfect Yellowstone. image
it's
in my eyeballs
yeah.
right now. I don't. It's amazing.
No, I fully agree.
And then Yellowstone Observation Point is 1.4 miles, and it's rated moderate, with 259 feet of elevation. Just want to throw that out there because it's got switchbacks and stairs, but it leads up to the Upper Geyser Basin, so it's by Old Faithful again. And you'll see Old Faithful from a different point of view.
Yeah, you get to see it from a lot higher up.
Yeah, but which I think is really cool because then there's like almost, it's not, obviously down by the boardwalk you have like a couple hundred people watching.
Oh, yeah.
This with you, and so sometimes it's hard to see, and sometimes it feels like you're not experiencing nature as nature is always intended. You know what I mean? Just like it's not the same when you're crowded by people. I think to experience some things than when it's only a small handful of people. So
yes, and then I got all of this information off of All Trails, and it does say that it's a much more secluded area, and not as many people are doing this hike because you can't just see it from the boardwalk.
Yeah, it's true. Which is also why I think you should see that see like the geysers and stuff early morning, late evening. But if you do go in the middle of the day, this might actually be a really good spot to see it from.
Get away from the crowds.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Grand Prismatic Hot Spring Overlook Trail that we've talked so much greatness about.
Yeah, it's 1.5 miles. It is rated easy. Apparently, we were struggling for whatever reason.
Well, my ankles were swollen. I don't know what your excuse was.
You just weren't feeling it, so that means I wasn't feeling it.
That's true. Actually, when that happens, and then we just bring each other down. Usually we bring each other up, but every once in a while, one of us is just off.
Yeah, it happens. But yeah, it's just an out and back trail, and you get to see. It's actually Grand Prismatic is the largest hot spring in the United States. So, and then you just get like a cool aerial view of it, and then
it's all the colors because you don't get to see the color differential. Different. Just how
they intermingle.
Like from the boardwalk.
Yeah.
It's still really cool to go on the boardwalk. I still recommend doing both, 100%. I would just say do this trail morning or evening because clearly a lot of other people go on this trail.
Apparently, yes.
But very cool still to see it from that view.
Yeah.
Because there's no other way to see it from that view.
Yeah.
And then Storm Point View. It's 2.5 miles, rated easy. This loop takes you past Indian Pond and ends by Yellowstone Lake. The first half of the trail takes you along the shore of Yellowstone Lake, and then the second half takes you through a forest. Yeah. But it's for an area that can get busy, it's more secluded. Just get on the trail. Yeah. And it's gorgeous. You get the lakeshore views with the distant Tetons.
The Tetons in the distance.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And then a couple medium hikes. So Fairy Falls Trail, I actually really want to do this one. It was so cool. It's 4.8 miles, fairly flat. You only get 170 feet of elevation gain. The trail takes you kind of like through a forest, and then you get to the falls, and it's like 200 feet tall, and it flows into Fairy Creek. And then along this trail, you also get a view of Grand Prismatic Spring, which is pretty cool.
That's very cool, actually.
Yeah. I very much so want to do this hike at one point.
Next year?
Next year?
That seems like an easy...
Yeah. Pretty quick, pretty easy.
This one we should have added on our short hikes, but it's Tower Falls Trail. So that's that Tower Roosevelt area we're talking about. It's Tower Falls. It's 0.9 miles. It's an out and back. 255 feet of elevation gain. But basically you just go on a hike.
But you can pretty much just go on a hike. Obviously.
You pretty much just walk out there. But you get to see a gorgeous sorry, I was still reading, so I was like, so you get outside, you get out of your vehicle probably.
Hopefully.
But it involves a couple steep climb sections, but you get to see this really gorgeous, huge waterfall. It's just beautiful. You should look it up, and then you'll know what we're talking about. It's gorgeous. It is recommended to specifically carry bear spray on this hike.
Actually, when I was looking up, all of these hikes had said to bring bear spray on them.
So we weren't wrong when we told you to carry some bear spray.
Yeah, no. If you're leaving your car, basically, or, well, I don't know.
In, like, a parking lot. I don't know.
But if you're planning on hiking at all, I would bring
even,
bear
like,
spray.
a mile hike.
Yeah.
Bring bear spray.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, it might even be smart if you leave your car. Because if you're dumb and you get out to a bear too close, that's your own fault, but...
At least you have bear spray, so you're less dumb.
Actually, let's just say that. Don't be dumb. Use the brain that God gave you.
Can that be like our slogan?
Well, especially in Yellowstone, just you hear the horror stories of people being done with wildlife, and we've seen some things, and it's just...
Like, people have literally, like, fallen into geysers because they go off the boardwalk when it specifically tells you not to. Like,
people try and pet buffalo.
Someone tried to put their child on a buffalo.
That did happen.
And where?
Someone put a baby buffalo
world?
in the back of their car because they thought it looked cold. And then they had to euthanize that buffalo because the herd wouldn't accept it back.
You're
killing the buffaloes! The baby buffaloes!
Like, just use the brain that God gave you. I know you have one.
It's so frustrating. Like, how would you ever think to do that?
It's a wild animal.
And there are signs all over Yellowstone, like, do not approach the wildlife. Like, do not feed the wildlife. So many things.
I swear, every single pull-off.
It says that. You see them all over.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know why
speechless, because even like that person who was put in a baby buffalo in the back of their car because they thought it looked cold. I mean, you could see that maybe they were trying to be, but at the same point, if they would have just read the sign that I'm sure was 2 feet from their car before, how did they even? I'm done. I can't.
It's clearly a heated topic for us.
Yeah. Well, think about that.
Yeah.
A baby buffalo.
Makes no sense.
Think about a baby buffalo. We saw baby buffalo this year. Had to get killed.
Stop talking about it. It would make me sad.
Well, I already am sad about it and angry because I'm sad about it. I'm not angry. I'm frustrated at the situation. I'm so frustrated at the situation because some people are so silly. It makes me frustrated at the situation.
They just forget to use the brains that the good Lord gave them. Pretty goofy to me.
Me too.
But that's just
same with feeding wildlife. That's how bears get put down.
Yeah.
So let's just not.
Please.
Sorry, that's our little rant. I'm gonna be done. Otherwise, I'm gonna go on forever about it and be like, people are so. And then Mount Washburn is a real popular one actually in Yellowstone. It's 7 miles. It's an out and back. It's about 1,400 feet in elevation gain. So that would be in our medium hikes. Yeah. So there is some elevation there, but basically it's you kind of climb a mountain.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I mean, Michaela, we've talked about this. We've wanted to been able to say we could just...
That's true. Yes, just climbed a mountain the other day.
Yeah.
It's fair.
But you get gorgeous views.
To be fair, we kind of have. We haven't gotten to the top of the mountain yet, but we've climbed mountains.
See, I summited one.
Whatever.
It was very little, though, so... It's not like we did a 14er or anything, but... But basically, this whole hike, it's mostly open, and it's just gorgeous. The views you have just... of the hills and the mountains and it's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one would be really pretty. I want to do that one too.
Yeah.
So basically, we have some hikes to check off our bucket list in Yellowstone still. Avalanche Peak Trail is another medium hike. It's 4.5 miles with about 2,000 feet of elevation gain. It's an out and back trail that takes you through forests and meadows with wildflowers, and eventually you come up to a peak and get a view of Yellowstone National Park. It's gorgeous.
Yeah. So this trail is kind of on, like, I don't want to say like the outside of the park, but it kind of is, like, a little bit closer to the edge. Yeah. So you'll get a great kind of, not aerial view, but you get a great view of a
higher up view.
Yeah. Of a lot of different features in the park.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then into our long hikes, which is 8 miles and up, we have Fairy Falls and Imperial Geyser Loop, which is 8.8 miles with 423 feet of elevation gain. Which kind of sounds like a nature walk, like a really long nature walk, which kind of sounds nice.
Yeah.
This trail, you get to see Fairy Falls and Imperial Geyser. You'll also get to see some more rarely visited geysers, so you could get away from the crowds this way as well. Yeah. Might be a good hike if you're trying to avoid the crowds, for sure.
Yeah.
And you want to see some geothermal features still?
Yeah, and then it's like you won't have a ton of other people on this hike, so it's like you're not not fighting, but you're not like waiting in line
or
shoulder to shoulder to see a cool geyser.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And then this backpacking overnight hike we have, which I told Michaela to look up, the Lamar River Trail. So the reason I told her to look this up is because I'd heard about it, and basically there's a lot of branches up. So people I heard it from, they won't always do the whole thing. A lot of times because you get interrupted by buffalo. And so it's in Lamar Valley, and it kind of goes along the river, clearly. So it's the whole trail is 31.6 miles long with 3,500 feet of elevation gain.
That doesn't make it better or worse, does it?
I don't think it really affects it.
Maybe?
I don't know.
I'll just leave it out.
But it's an out and back trail if you do the whole thing through open meadows and opportunities to see pronghorn, bison, and bears. It'd be a great backpacking trip.
Although,
I don't know if I would backpack there just because of all the buffalo and bears.
I agree, because
it's very, that's why, so I put on there as like it's cool to walk a couple miles into the valley, because that valley is gorgeous.
It is.
Lamar Valley is so beautiful.
It is.
But then also to view bison away from like a car pileup, but also not getting too close. So you just have to be very aware of your surroundings, aware of where the buffalo herd is. And also look out for bears. Make sure you're talking, because this is a bear heavy area. Just keep talking. I don't know if I wouldn't recommend doing hikes in Yellowstone by yourself unless you're very experienced.
Yes, I agree.
Where you know and you feel comfortable seeing a bear by yourself in the wild.
Yeah, I think that's another good point, is like make sure you're comfortable being around so many animals if you're gonna do like a long hike like this. Like,
or even if you're gonna do a short hike.
Yeah.
You need to be aware that buffalo they hang out in these areas, obviously.
Yeah.
They kind of
That's a good
park. But yeah, just make sure you stay in your comfort zones, but also I wouldn't be so scared of it. As long as you keep your distance from these animals, nothing is gonna happen to you. It's really not. The only cases where things did happen is when people were doing things they weren't supposed to be doing, which we're not going to talk about anymore.
Clearly, because it's kind of a heated subject.
But yeah. Then some honorable mentions in the area around Yellowstone.
Obviously, guess what number 1 is? Grand Teton!
And then Beartooth Highway.
Oh my gosh.
Which is...
We love Beartooth Highway.
Drive off of Lamar Valley, keep going, Beartooth Highway.
Also, something that's like right in that same area, Bighorn National Forest.
If you're coming from the east.
Yeah, I suppose. If you're coming from the east, also make sure...
Yeah, we hit it.
Along with the Beartooth Highway, go through the Bighorn National Forest.
Yeah, and Cody, Wyoming is over there.
Yeah.
Love that town.
Oh,
the town's great.
I just love it.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
Just go. Yeah. Just visit. And then Henry's Lake, Idaho, which would be on your west side of the park. Yeah. As well as Harryman State Park in Idaho. These were both on our list to visit. Actually, when we went out to Idaho, and we ran out of time when we were coming home. But they're gorgeous, so. But yeah, that's about everything we got for you for planning a trip to Yellowstone National Park. So, thanks for listening.
Please like, share, and subscribe to
Sleeping in Park.